Good morning again. Oh, I should say good day. Let's see. Okay. I'm eating a banana because, after doing a little work this morning, the energy is a little bit low. Getting the grocery shopping in, being able to take a nice little walk. As much as I want to go hiking, I feel fortunate to have found that literally walking up the main street by my home has enough of an incline that I'm like, sheesh, I don't need to go get dirty to do this. I can do this and be clean. Anyhow, I wanted to share this little snippet. So realistically, you guys probably won't even catch that before part. I'll just share it earlier somewhere else. But I wanted to jump into looking at different seasons of life. And I know that I've shared about these things before, and I've definitely talked about it for years when I used to do live and drives, when I have intentionally done tea talks, when it was Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then jumped into just Tuesdays. And different topics will keep circling around because they're still relevant, and new insights come up, as well as literally the same things over and over. And I'm resharing concepts or ideals because they keep coming up, and believe it or not, sometimes some of us require repetition to be able to get things and have it be understood, as well as the way you say it one way may not hit, but the next time it hits. So isolation, seasons of intentionally isolating yourself and getting comfortable with your social battery. That's probably going to be the topic, the title, but you guys are already in, so you're here for it. Social batteries, social connections, and isolation, the rest, recovery, and reclamation of you. Lots of folks are noticing things about themselves that they historically thought maybe was inappropriate or not okay, such as being too tired to hang out with people and genuinely wanting to stay on the couch. Some of these things may be associated with becoming aware of different mental health diagnoses that allow things to make more sense to you. While I am not despite being a therapist, I don't find deep comfort in having diagnosis if it is going to hurt you or harm you. Now, if it is something that you are going to be able to use that allows you the opportunity to become more effective at how you function and how you do life on your terms, then great. But if it is going to be the thing that you're now going to use to not be great, to not show up for yourself, to have an excuse as to why you can or cannot do, be, or have a certain thing, I'm not going to be able to support it. So with that, let's go ahead and close that on up. I still got my banana because I'm still finishing it. Let's look at noticing when and how there is a benefit and necessity to separating yourself from people. And when I say people, I mean all the people, not just people outside of your home, people in your home. Being alone gives you more of an opportunity to be able to get to know who you are. When you go and be around other people, you get to find out who you are in relation to those people. So folks that are really people that are great for you, you will notice that you will be a greater version of yourself. Folks that maybe draw out a version or a part of you that you're either working towards not being like anymore, or not having the same intensity of, you will notice it pulls you out more to act and show up in that version of you that you may be intentionally trying to separate yourself from. So choosing to not spend all your time, all the time with any one particular person, people, groups, places, jobs, organizations, physical locations, however it shows up for you, gives you a chance to really get back to you and to get more intentional and specific about what it is you want for yourself, how you want to be able to show up, and what you need so that you can get there. If you're constantly around other people, some people work really well in this capacity, but a lot of folks are noticing the more mature you get, the more time you genuinely need by yourself So you're not making choices and decisions based on what the collective is saying around you. If all the people you're around party and bullshit, for lack of better words, then why wouldn't you party and bullshit? Like, that kind of like makes sense. If you get to a point where you realize, I don't think I want to do that, or I don't want to do it the same way they do it, you start to feel uncomfortable, and they probably will feel uncomfortable too, because you're not doing the same things you used to do. You can still be friends, you can still hang around, but what does need to happen is, if it doesn't feel right for you, why would you keep pushing to do something that doesn't work? In working out, in creating the diet for your life, how you eat, how you move your body, you can follow plans and programs that people offer, and it's amazing as a guideline. So I highly suggest it. For instance, if you were to take a yoga class with me, it's not about me as the instructor so much as it's you recognizing how you do or don't relate with the way I teach it, the way I flow, the things that we're working on, and then you making a point to adjust it in a way that works for you. If you find yourself doing too much adjustment, I'll say for myself, then that means I'm not the right person to guide you on that path. If you find yourself feeling like it's pretty effortless and you can do what you need, and you physically are feeling the way that you wanted to feel because you were clear on what you were doing and why you were doing it, then that's great. At one point, I had the opportunity to work out with a really good friend of mine, and he was like helping me and training me. And at the time, I wanted to intentionally not eat meat, but I needed to lose weight and make sure that I could build and retain the muscle strength that I was gaining. We were using like an app to track myself. So I was putting everything in there. And the days that he was like, you did a great job, like amazing work, it was very disheartening, because it was the days that I pretty much chose to eat like fish or something like that. And because of that, he was like, well, the protein is where it needs to be, the fats, all the things, but it wasn't what I was looking for. And what I learned in that experience was he was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. I needed to take it upon myself to do more research on my own and find out more about what things were going to allow me to be able to do that. If that was my primary goal, then I needed to do the extra work to find out what my body needs so that it can function in a way that I feel good and it works. Going back to the isolation of people, you can have amazing and great friends, and that doesn't change that you still will benefit from taking some time alone to yourself, so you can be on a continuous pattern of reevaluating what does work for me, who is working for me, how much time do I want to spend in these places, how much time or energy do I want to give to it, so you can show up as the best version of you. When you are evaluating changing jobs, careers, like taking trainings, doing different things, taking some time alone will give you more of an opportunity to intentionally and effectively choose what is going to be most supportive to you than continuing to exhaust yourself and pour energy, time, and attention in places that you've always done, not giving yourself space to come back and reevaluate, what do I want to be doing? I say this to say, when people around you, you know, to start to pull back and maybe aren't around as much, try not to take it too personal, unless you know it was a personal reason. Then, you know, yeah, I might want to have that conversation and get at it. But try not to take it too personal when someone that has always shown up and been available decides to take some space for themselves so they can take care of themselves. Try not to beat yourself up when you realize you do need a moment in that space and you aren't as available to other people and you aren't willing to hold space for them or do the things that you've always done, because you need a moment to reset. You need a moment for clarity, which means pulling back and not continuing to pour out at 100%. Sometimes we like to pull all-nighters or bust full weekends full of stuff and doing all the things, and that's cool if you have the energy, time, capacity, and desire for it. When you realize that you are burnt out, you do need to take some time. Some people will notice maybe more than you and have the capacity to remind you of that, and that's great and amazing, but you are ultimately your own responsibility, and it's up to you to make sure that you do take time away so you can reconnect with yourself Get clear on what you want, what you need, and how you want to show up. So when you reconnect with others, you can enhance and increase the mutual reciprocity of those relationships and connections because you got what you need. Feel free to take time away. Isolate. Be by yourself. Have a routine in your schedule where you get to be by yourself more often and more consistently, so it becomes a routine, so you're constantly setting yourself up to be in a pattern of rejuvenating. When you do this, game changer. Again, everybody might not get it and they might not like it, and it's not your responsibility to make sure they do. It is your responsibility to make sure that you get what you need. So lovingly, gently, and kindly, I encourage you to show up as that best version of you because you poured into you enough to be able to do so. And you allowed people around you to support you and help you in how to go about doing that. So, isolate, connect, detach, repeat. I don't really have too much more else to say about that. So hopefully you got the point. Social connections do require social disconnects, and becoming a better version of yourself and enhancing the relationship you have with yourself requires time alone so you can get to know who you are and how you want to show up.